welcome to
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to
Everything Entertainment. All right.
Okay. I just felt it.
Okay, good.
I had to go with it.
Go with it. All right.
And on that note,
Go with it.
Sestra, you
Yes.
are first this week. What do you have?
Yes. So I have fallen in love with this new show that I found on, I believe it's Peacock.
Peacock.
Yes, it's a new show on Peacock, and it is called Stumble.
Stumble. Okay, Stumble
Yes.
on Peacock. Got it.
It's a mockumentary of a woman, like following a woman who is a cheerleading coach.
Okay.
So she's a cheerleading coach at this junior college. It's like one of the biggest junior colleges. So she's like, no, I think it's a junior college, and she's all about it. She's all into it. But then she gets in trouble for giving out, what are those things called where just like the best dress, the best,
Those kind of like, just awards. But
yeah,
like,
but it's called something awards. I can't think of it. I wish I had my friend Andrea here for it. She was
Scholastic Awards.
No, I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, but she's giving out those awards, and somebody records her giving out the reward for like the biggest donk, and like, girl, you got da. And that ends up being all over the internet,
Going viral.
She loses her job. So now she's like,
So she did that. Just being funny.
She did that just being funny, like with the girls.
Yeah.
And
not thinking that somebody would put
it was
out
just
there
like
and
all
say it's
and like
totally inappropriate.
and all the girls were like woo, like cheering and everything. But it ended up causing her to lose her job, and now she's trying to be like, she needed a meaning. She was the cheerleading captain, or she wanted to be the cheerleading captain when she was in school, and she did all of this these competitions and everything, so she's trying to relive that part of her life by being the coach.
Gotcha.
And for her to have the best team where they had all the awards, and now she's gotten all of that taken away from her. Now she goes to Sammy Davis Junior College.
That is just the craziest name. Sammy Davis Junior College. Okay.
Yes. Let me give you the cast members. So some of these people you will know, some of these people you don't know. But Jen Lyon, who plays Courtney Porter, she actually was on the TV show Claws. She was the white lady that was on Claws that had the mixed daughter, and her husband and their brother and everything had all this stuff going on. So we have her, but she's lost a lot of weight. She looks really good. We also have Taran Killam, who plays Boone, who is her husband. We have Anissa Borrego, who plays Crystal, who is one of the girls who happens to be a vlogger, she's an influencer.
Yeah.
Yes. We also have Jared Austin Brown, who plays DeMarcus, where DeMarcus was actually one of the football players that was so braggadocious and very in your face, always got penalties for all of his
theatrics.
For all his theatrics and like
flagrant.
Yes, always being extra, and then it caused penalties. But he was like, I don't care about the penalty. I just scored a touchdown. Nobody else on my team is doing this. I'm David Ruffin.
Oh,
gosh. Be nobody without temptations. You also have Ariana Davis, who plays Madonna. You have Taylor Dunbar, who plays Peaches. Now, all right, so Ariana Davis is one of the girls who is trying out for the cheerleading squad at the Sammy Davis Junior College.
Okay.
Now, she is, like, she comes up and she's heavy set.
Mm-hmm.
And Courtney is kind of like, oh, okay, well, let me see what you got. And then she has everything. She was like, okay, good. She was like, but what can you do is tumbles. So she was like, oh, you want to see tumbles? I could do that. She flips and does everything, but she's narcoleptic. So once she lands she sticks her landing, then she just falls asleep. Like, she sticks the landing, arms up good, and then boom, falls asleep. She's like, oh my God, she passed out. She was like, no, I'm just narcoleptic.
Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
You have, like I said, Taylor Dunbar, who plays Peaches. Peaches is a girl who is, she is, I guess, a bad apple. She has never had anything in her life, so she takes what she wants. So Courtney actually finds Peaches by Peaches trying to steal her stuff out of her truck. Oh, so she's coming up to her truck. Yeah. So she comes out of a store and looks at her truck, and she was like, "Hey!" And she's in the sunroof, in the bed of the truck. She's like leaning over in the sunroof in the bed of the truck. Peaches flips backwards, then like does a somersault off of the bed of the truck, and she's like, "Oh
you
my
need
God."
to be on my team.
Because she's running after her. She was like, "Stop before I call the police." And she was like, so the girl turns around. She was like, "Have you ever thought about doing this?" And she's like, "No." She was like, "Okay, well, how about this? You're going to do this or I'm calling the police."
Police, yeah.
So,
oh my gosh.
yeah.
She's like, "I need you on my squad."
Exactly. So then we have Georgie Murphy, who actually is one of the young ladies who gets into the junior college, but she's never had a family. Like, she was the outcast of her family. Okay. So she's been living out of her car. She's been working and everything, but she is not fully developed mentally. Everything that she says, everybody's like, "Oh, I just want to give her a hug." And then we also have Ryan Pinkston, who plays Steven. Steven is the guy who was on the cheer squad. He's now 31. Okay. He was on the cheer squad back in the day. Never was able to get where he needed to go because he was not the best. Some things happened to him. So he was not all there. And Courtney needed a team. And she asked him, and he was like, "Yes, I'll quit my job right now. Let's go."
What?
Yes.
So he is on the team at 31?
Yes, because it's a junior college. It's Sammy Davis Junior College.
So anybody could be any age at the junior college. But what are they actually cheering for at the junior college? Because they don't have sports.
Because this is the thing. The junior colleges in different states apparently do have...
they have cheer squads that go to competitions.
Well, no, but they also have teams. So
they do?
Yeah, the junior college will have a football team, so like that. I mean, I don't know for sure how true this is. This is a mockumentary.
Okay.
So this is what we're going
But I do know that they have the college cheer competition. Okay, so the junior college cheer competitions. Yeah, but then... Because you'll watch those, and it's not always these big ones. And even that one, Cheer, that was on Netflix that you talked about. Trouble about. Yeah. Gosh, that was forever ago.
I know.
We've been doing this a minute.
I know.
So anyway,
5 years strong.
Exactly. And so, but yeah. So anyway, long story short, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then we also have Kristen Chenoweth.
Yes, I saw her.
And she plays Tammy. Now, Tammy was the assistant to Courtney when Courtney was at the biggest school with the best cheerleading squad and everything. So
she take over,
and then she ended up having to take over. And she was like, "I don't want this," and she was like, "No, I need you to take it. I don't want it. Take it. I don't want it. Take it. Okay, I'll take it."
Yeah. You knew she was going to take it. Exactly. She's been wanting it her whole life.
I mean, there's one episode where she's like, "Oh, I'm sick. I'm coming down with a cold, but I will be singing the national anthem." She sings the entire national anthem, every verse.
Oh, of course. You're supposed to. What do you mean? Oh, you mean even the third and the fourth and the fifth? Oh, okay.
To where they're standing there, and then they're like, she does the first verse, and everybody's clapping, and then she goes, and then starts singing again, and then they're just like, okay. And then they start clapping again, and she sings the next verse, and then now she finishes it, and then they're just standing there, and she's like, "And play ball," and they're like, "Oh, okay,
finally!" Oh my gosh, yeah.
So
is she like a big figure in this, or she truly a supporting cast?
It's a little bit of both, because now that she is the opposing cheer teams that's going to be in a competition, and also Courtney's husband Boone is the football coach for the school that was the school that she worked at, which now...
So he's still at the old school, she's at a new school.
Yes. Okay. But Tammy is at that old school, who is that? So they're always around each other. Yeah. Okay. But this is so funny and so cute. So as she's trying to put together this whole team, like, so many things are happening. It's like, if something can go bad, it goes bad. So now Peaches is getting arrested. Peaches, why are you getting arrested? Sally is like washing her clothes and drying them on the car. It's like, Sally, let's show you how to use a laundromat, or maybe you could just bring it to my house, or maybe you could do this. You have Crystal, who is the influencer, and she ends up having some issues at the other school. So she goes to this school so she can get more people with her, more likes, which brings more attention to the school. Yeah. You have DeMarcus, who is just so arrogant that he has some issues. He loves being the center of attention, but then also he does not know his place. So it's like you can have your moment where you do your flips and everything, but you still have to catch the girl that you threw up in the air.
Yes, you can't lose track of your focus.
Exactly. So we have all of this going on, but the storyline is hilarious. How they constantly are going back, the things that Courtney and Boone's relationship at home, is super cute because he's like, hey babe, like, you know, she turns around, puts in her Invisalign. He was like, oh, I was hoping I was going to get lucky tonight. And she was like, well, the way that you smell, because your gas is bad. She was like, just know that I love you, that I'm going to be in these sheets with you. She said, but we ain't going to be doing nothing in these sheets.
Yeah, but I'm here.
Yeah,
so
I'm here and I love
win.
you. Yeah. She was like, but you're not, there's no way that this is going to happen. But they have a very cute relationship. Boone also has an issue because when he was in college, he was a star football player and he got a head injury.
Okay.
So now he'll say things over and over again. He'd be like, yeah, because he's like, yeah, because Courtney is the love of my life. And he's like, yeah. And you know what? Courtney is the love of my life.
Oh my God.
So
Not that fast, back to back like that.
No. Or else he'll say something that makes no sense, and then he's just like, yeah. And it's like, oh. So it's just all comedy at all times. And I am here for it. Okay. It is hilarious. It's like they still talking to the camera, kind of like The Office. They talk to the camera and things like that. But it's like Best in Show, where they have the competition parts where you're seeing all the behind the scenes stuff with that.
Too.
Oh my God, it is hilarious. So I think that everybody should watch this just to go ahead and get a giggle and just to see some, not necessarily nonsense, but just to make you laugh.
Yeah.
It's like just something to make you laugh. Just it's a feel good comedy where it's like, oh man, like it's some of it's heartwarming, and then as soon as it gets heartwarming, then you see something happen, you're just like, oh my God, now this is happening.
Let me get it crack up.
Yes. Yeah. So I love it. I can't wait for the next episode to come out, which Friday. Okay. So episode comes out Friday.
Today.
Today.
I mean, we're Friday is.
Yeah. We pre-record, guys.
We did pre-record. Yes.
Yeah.
So which
So I am into watching this mockumentary, and this is my new
Maisel?
Guilty pleasure.
Because you used to be in Maisie a lot.
So. Oh yeah. But I mean, Maisie I still watch.
Okay, so Maisie's never going away.
Maisie's never going away.
All right. So this is like something to add to your repertoire.
No, because it's not like I want to watch it over and over again. I'm just excited for the show.
The show to come on.
Yeah, for the show to come on.
It's very few shows that you get that feeling about nowadays. Exactly. It's kind of like, okay, I'll watch it when I get to it, but not your show.
I'm like, I can't wait for this to come on. So I'm with that.
Okay.
So
and more shows too just drop everything, so you binge watch it. So
exactly. Knowing that this
is a slower burn.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I was like, man, I wish that it was all coming out at the same time, but it's like, but then I have to wait a whole year.
Yeah, or more.
Because I don't know if it's going to be picked back up. Hopefully it will.
Hopefully.
If not, Netflix needs to pick it up. Netflix got the money; they can pick it up and make this.
And what is it on Peacock? You said
it is on Peacock. Well, I guess just NBC in general.
Okay, because it's an NBC show.
You can watch it on Bravo, NBC, Peacock, Telemundo, or you can rent it from Prime Video.
Okay. And so it basically is it live on like if I watch like NBC's
it's on
show, it's on there
it's
and
on,
then they put it on Peacock. Okay.
Yes.
Because now I don't really watch the local channels as much, like the NBC,
but then
ABC,
you have to pay.
So I don't even know.
But it's like you either have to have rabbit ears or an antenna. You have to have an
antenna.
Or else you have to
pay. Or you have to pay
so
with,
it's like,
with the Peacocks or the Hulus. Or
and then it's so
Paramount.
Because because everybody's going to fully streaming, that the antennas and everything are not picking up like they used to back in the day.
Oh, really?
That's what it seems like. Like,
mine's just fine.
Like, okay, well, I know some of the antennas is like not picking up. Like talking about like when we were at mom's. Like,
yeah, but she's in the boonies.
But back in the day, we didn't have a problem with that.
But that was analog over digital. That's the difference.
That's the difference. Okay, well,
it's analog signals that were
bring back analog rabbit ears.
Yeah. But, then they always had that thing like Erin Brockovich where, that was the water. But, it's a situation where if you're near those towers, what was it doing to your body?
But now we got the cell phone towers that we got only knows
but if it's digital, is it having that same effect as the analog did? Like, was there something different in the wavelengths of the analog than there is in the digital?
Probably not. It's still going through the airways.
It's still going through there. We need, what is it called? An EMF reader. That's what it's called. Yeah. Where I think that's what the letters are. But you take that and you go to all your outlets, you go to all your electronic devices, and you see how much radiation they're letting out. If you want to know. Yeah, I'm just putting that out there for the people.
You know what? You probably don't want to know.
You might not want to know because there's certain things that I have.
Is that what you have one? That's right. Maybe I need to borrow it. I can't
remember what it was, but it was one thing in here that it was like red and beeping really loud, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I can't remember what that was.
Yeah, I need to double check and make sure like nothing near my bed where I'm.
I think it was the charger. I think it was the charger.
Maybe. I need to double check.
I think it was like one of the phone chargers or something like that.
I probably need to keep things further away, from me because if you're sleeping in bed and it's all this radioactive stuff happening right near you for 6, 7, 8 hours a night.
Oh yeah, I'm doing better with my phone that now I put it away from me. So then my alarm goes off, I have to get up and get my
physically get it.
But then also it keeps me from scrolling while I'm laying in the bed.
Doom scrolling, as they call it.
Yes, because I need to go to sleep.
Yes, we all need our rest.
Yeah, so now it's Golden Girls or Designing Women.
Oh, yeah.
Which I fall asleep very fast on Designing Women. Which I like Designing Women. Like I remember it being on when I was little, but it's I don't know what it is about it. I guess the ladies' voices are just calming that put me right to sleep.
Just like, well, it's the country accent.
I think that maybe that's what it is. Where the Golden Girls, I'm like, this is hilarious. This is funnier than Designing Women.
It is, and I would agree with that. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, there we go. Yes, Stumble on Peacock. Back to that.
On Peacock. Yeah.
Don't mind our ADHD.
Don't mind us.
All right. What do you have next?
We're just doing a podcast.
Yeah.
So I have Bitchin'. The sound and fury
that's right. You did some of
Rick James. And so this is a documentary. It's on Hulu about Rick James, and I was like fascinated by all of the things that it shared because Rick James is somebody, he had been out since the 70s. Certain things about Rick James when he got in trouble or when there were lawsuits and some about some woman they held hostage and then situation of him going to prison.
Him and Prince.
And him and
Prince, little drama.
And like all these little things. And him with the Temptations singing their song.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
And that whole thing. And it's like
smacking Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy. Like all of these things. And so you're just like, you think you kind of are like, okay, he was just this wild guy. That's like all you think of is like, okay, Rick James was just this wild and crazy guy. And you get the documentary, and it's partially that, and it's partially some other stuff too. Like it gives you a much deeper understanding of him. But as a lot of people are flawed, it is what it is, So basically one thing that I liked about this documentary is that it did have his voice in it. And it's very few documentaries, once somebody's passed, that you actually get to hear them share their story, their history, different things. I don't know if anybody recorded him from a perspective of knowing he was going to do that, if all of it came from interviews or what it was, but you more heard his voice than you saw him actually talking.
Okay.
So I was like, wait, is that Rick James' voice? Because then you're like, I always hear him sing. I don't know how many times you and I heard him talk. Oh my gosh, all the songs. I probably should go through.
I didn't realize I was a Rick James fan until I sat here last week and I sang Cold Blooded. And I was like, how do I know all these words?
I didn't know all the words to Cold Blooded.
Because I guess I'm a Rick James fan. Yeah.
And that's probably the only part most people know because of Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, because of Dave Chappelle, Unity. Yeah.
So it goes into him sharing information about who his influence was. And do you know who his influence was when you think of 70s?
James Brown.
When you think of 70s wild and crazy artists and just out there? Yep. Parliament.
Yeah,
so
I was thinking P-Funk first.
Yeah.
And then I said Rick James because I thought he wanted to be like the womanizer like Rick James was. And just say whatever he wanted to say, like Rick James.
He was like, George Clinton was his like, oh my gosh, this is like, and you can kind of see it, you can pick up on it. It was wild.
Was him and Bootsy Collins friends? Because I feel like they were probably good
in
friends.
The documentary.
I could see that. I could see that.
So yeah, he doesn't talk about them specifically being friends as much as it is just he has some history, so I'm assuming they were friends, but he doesn't come right out and say they were. But yes, Bootsy's in it and just talking about, you know, just his style. And there was never any like competition though between the two. But it was just interesting to know that, okay, like after hearing him say that, you're like, oh, I so get that. Because
was Eddie Murphy in it?
No.
Oh, okay.
They talked about Eddie Murphy, but he wasn't in it.
Okay.
So a lot of the story comes from a perspective of his daughter as well.
Okay.
And she shares some information. She's on there. She's going through things because they still have a vault or a storage unit or something like that. And a lot of her father's things in there. And so she talks about that, but they were estranged for quite a bit of her life.
I can see that.
Because of the fact that he was out here with the women
and on
out
cocaine.
Here with the drugs and out in, you know, just doing everything. And so she said that she was probably 8 or so before she really got to know who her father was.
Okay.
And then he was like a active father, but at the same time inactive. So it was like, oh, I'm here, I'm doing this for you. I'm not going to go to your game, but like you can come this weekend and we'll all hang out together. But you might wake up and a bunch of women will be here.
Yeah, it's like you come hang out with me, but I'm not hanging out with you.
But it's like in a way he sometimes did, like, oh, we'll go get something to eat, we'll do this, we'll do that. But it was very sporadic. Like, oh, I'll give you this, but then I still have to do my stuff outside of being your dad kind of scenario. But they talked about, you know, his name was James Johnson Jr. And so they said that you knew who you had to figure out who you were getting. So for the people in his band or the people who were in his life, they were like, you're either going to get Rick James, who's that persona, or you're going to get James Johnson Jr. And when he was on the drugs, you never got James Johnson Jr. You always got Rick James. And so they were just saying that that was very, very different. They talked about Prince and how there was a animosity, which I found out about. I think it was like on a TikTok or Facebook or something where somebody did like a video.
Yeah, like the cartoon
video of the two of them.
And that was the best. I think it might have been like Questlove or somebody like that may put that together.
It may have been, yeah. But it was a situation of the two of them going on tour together early in Prince's career because of the fact that, you know, they had like a similar style, very leather and almost like a feminine side with the masculine side. You know what I mean? Because Rick James with the hair and the beads, and they go through the story of how that came about. And like he was like, everybody in the band got to have the hair like this. You got to have the beads. And these guys were like, I gotta do what? Like, I'm just a drummer. Come on, man. Like, I gotta do what with my hair? And lo and behold, they got this Rick James hair, you know, kind of situation. So it's just like, if it ain't one thing, you know? So then what ends up happening is they go through the story and you hear Rick James tell it of Prince and how basically Prince was the opening act. And whatever he picked up on that Rick James would do when Rick James first got on the stage, like if he was like, hey, everybody, blah, 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 and he told everybody to say something or sing something or do something, all of a sudden Prince did it first. So therefore, when Prince would get on the stage, he was like, oh, Rick James is going to tell everybody to say, you know, I don't know, something positive about Boston or whatever. Yeah. And I already know he's going to do that. So let me do it first so that way when he gets out here, it throws him off. So Rick James was furious. And he was like, this dude is going out here trying to be me before I can be me. And he was like, what is going on? Like, what is happening here? So there was this whole, you know, situation that they talked about with the two of them. I don't know if they ever really resolved anything.
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did. They talked about Tina Marie. and how he met her. And it's funny because there's two women in here that he met when they were like 17, 18 years old. And I remember that song, She Was Only 17, that he had. And, and I was like, I wonder which one of these two women he wrote that song about.
Probably both.
Maybe both. But Tina Marie, the thing is that basically she was like working in this recording studio as like, I don't know, an admin or something, but she was like around. And then all of a sudden he heard her sing. And no, it was that people said, no, you have to hear her sing, something like that. So anyway, he is walking through the hallway and with the, I don't know, one of the guys from the band. And the guy from the band is like, oh, we're going to meet this girl, Tina Marie, blah, blah, blah. And he's automatically thinking black woman, right? He's thinking the name Tina Marie, the voice that we heard, it has to be a black woman. So they see these two women coming up to them. And it was a white woman and a black woman. And they were like, oh, yeah, you're coming to, we're coming to meet Tina Marie. And he went up and was like, oh, it's so nice to meet you, Tina. And she was like, oh, no, I'm not Tina. And pointed to the white girl. And he was like, what?
Yeah, the little tiny white girl.
That can't be who was singing like that, not that powerfully, And so they go through the whole story of the two of them, that how it was a friendship, that he really respected her craft, her ability to write, her ability to sing, play instrument, like all of that stuff. And it did go from being just that friendship to a true relationship. And then they going through the whole Fire and Desire and that whole song. So yeah, it was great. And he even showed the clip of when later in life, when remember he was singing and she was singing, and they were in that I think maybe it was a BET award or something like that.
I think
they
it
were in
was,
the audience,
yeah.
And they were singing, and his famous "I'm Rick James" when he said that after. It was on, Dave Chappelle, because I think people thought he was Smokey Robinson or something.
Probably so. Yeah,
they thought he was
because
Smokey
he got lighter.
Robinson.
His complexion got lighter.
Yeah, sometimes it happens as people get older, but it's like, they thought he was Smokey Robinson. He's like, I don't care who you thought I was. I'm Rick James, bitch. And then he walked off the stage, and everybody was like, whoa, like in the crowd and everything. So they go through all of that. They go through how some musicians were like, look, he wouldn't even put our names on the records.
Yeah.
Like, we were writing with him. We were doing things with him. We wouldn't get our pay like we were supposed to. We wouldn't get. And I was like, look at him being Diddy before Diddy.
Yep, absolutely.
Done went to jail and everything.
Yeah.
So at some points, I was just like, I wonder if that was some of what was going on. Because it was him and his girlfriend at the time. And they talked about, Tanya, I think was her name. She was somebody who he had met when she was 17, and they ended up having a relationship. And I want to say they were together pretty much on and off his entire life. And when it was the court case, she was the one who they said had helped to tie up this woman and keep her there hostage and all this kind of stuff.
What the heck?
And yeah. So
I didn't even know that he tied somebody up. I don't know
that's
a
what
lot
they were
of.
saying. They said that that he kept the person hostage in the house, but then she was saying, no, that's not it at all. There was like a 3-way thing going on, and there was drug binges and all of this kind of stuff happening, but we did not force her to be there.
Okay, yeah. I get that.
But she came out and was like, maybe I can make a payday. Let me say this, and that's her side of the story. So. Talked about Eddie Murphy and how they ended up making My Girl Wants to Party All the Time, Party All the Time, Party All the Time.
We do not own the rights to that song.
Then, we didn't sing 30 seconds of it, so hopefully that's good. So they talked about that and how he had his house in Buffalo, and he stayed in Buffalo his whole life. I was like, all the places. Cold Buffalo, New York, where it's snow when nobody else has snow, New York. But, all right, Syracuse, Buffalo, if you like it, you love it. All right, so he was there pretty much, huge house, all of that. And Eddie Murphy talked about this too, how he ended up going there just for a little bit of time, and lo and behold, they end up making, the song. So go figure there. The Temptations, I think one of his, either his godfather or
he has it on a song. That. Temptation, sing.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Yep. So you had that in Super Freak, but then also the Temptations. When you're on the top, the only place you really go is down, down, down.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so he did that, standing on the top.
Yeah. On the top, getting down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so they both did different things, but that was because I think it was Godfather or somebody was in the Temptations. So therefore, it was like a little collab.
That makes sense.
Yep.
It's like, how do you draw in the older folks? You put the Temptations on the song.
You had where...
and they got bills to pay too.
Yep, exactly. You had the Mary Jane girls.
Yes.
So you had them, and they talked to some of the was it one or two? I can't remember, but talked to Mary Jane girls, and they were talking about their persona. They had to wear their hair like him and the beads, and they had to be sexy.
Yeah.
And, he was the one who coined the phrase of Mary Jane being drugs, and even some of his band members were like, it took me forever to know that's what it was about. And I didn't even know that was what it was about. And so they go into that and how that, kind of came about and happened, and the Mary Jane girls, which basically were supposed to be very, seductive and
promiscuous.
Exactly. And how none of them were singers. They were like backup and stuff like that, but they weren't
that's
really...
right. Pleased to meet you. Or is that the other one?
No, that's not. No, the Mary Jane girls were they to be my candy man.
They had another song.
They had that, and then they had what was the biggest Mary Jane girl song? I can't remember. I'm looking it up now, so talk amongst yourselves.
Not talk amongst yourselves. But yeah, I know they had another. Yeah.
Long,
gonna give it to you,
which has been in every song
absolutely.
Since then. So I don't know how much they make as royalties as the Mary Jane girls.
If he even have them like fully down, if they got their money, or if he took all the money.
There were four ladies as a part of the Mary Jane girls, and so they sung in my house.
Oh yeah.
In my house. Yep. So it's Candyman. In my house all night long.
In my house.
Yeah. So. In my house.
That's my jam. And that makes sense because that sounds like Rick James singing that part too. That sounds like him singing.
And that was the thing. They said that he wrote the songs basically to say, all right, I dogged out women. Mm-hmm. I know the female experience from the point of being a man that dogs out women. Yeah. So let me write the song from a perspective of a woman who is in love with a man who's probably going to dog him. So that's where the Candy Man came from. And, in my house, you can come to my house. This is a place where you can feel, secure.
Because if you need some little tenderness.
Yes.
And it's me, baby, that you miss.
Yep. And it's me, baby, that you miss.
I got the key to unlock the door.
It's the key to unlock the door. So you were basically the other one.
How do I know all the Rick James stuff?
I know.
That's crazy.
Almost every song.
And these songs probably came out while I was being conceived and born.
You were not even a thought in anybody's mind.
I wasn't.
Because some of them the band was formed in 1979.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So years before you were a thought.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I was only a few years old.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyway, so that it was a really good documentary. Just a couple of other points they talked about. Rick James and Roxanne Shante. Not that, but
like how he helped her out.
How he helped her. That she was actually a young mother. She was just, trying to figure things out. She was doing really well with her rapping, and he just gave her 3 months of being a stay at her house. Oh, and, okay. Yeah, she was able to.
He took her in like an adopted daughter.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. I wonder if he was like, Dad, somebody did her like I do all these women, so let me go ahead. This is going to be my thing that's going to help me get into heaven.
I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know. But yeah, so it goes, I was looking here, it said he was spending $8,000 a week on cocaine.
Oh, I believe that. I figured $8,000 a week back in the 70s was probably...
Well, they didn't make it sound like it was the 70s. Oh. Probably more the 80s.
Well, even in the 80s, it's probably probably 12,
how
15
ticked off he was about Can't Touch This. He was not a fan of MC Hammer.
Was that about him?
Well, no. Number one, he didn't know he was doing anything with his song. I think that MC Hammer didn't get the appropriate information or details or whatever. So he said he's just riding in a car, and all of a sudden he hears, and he's like, "Oh, I'm back! Like my music is coming back into play." And he hears somebody else. And then you hear,
"Bye, this is the beat." Who is that?
Oh, like, oh no!
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
So he was not a fan of hip hop.
That makes sense why Hammer could have went bankrupt so fast, because Rick James would be like, "I need my money.
I need my money. Exactly. Yeah. Give me my money." Yeah. And so he made millions off of that song. So he was like, "All right, I'm good," because Super Freak helped me when it came out again. Yeah. But he just thought for sure, he was like, "Oh, the youngins are starting to take in and want me back." He's like,
no, the youngins stole from you.
Yeah,
and then they have to pay you back.
Even when those things happen, a lot of times it gives you that opportunity to get a second win, where everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Rick James, what's he doing?"
But then also,
you can do some venues and stuff.
But then also, it's like wondering if he had even the rights to his music, or if MC Hammer was underneath the label that Rick James was on, and they were just like, "Oh, we own the rights to this music." So, that's another thing where it's like that could be a thing.
Owns the masters and all of that kind of stuff.
Because it's like, oh yeah, like we can give, like that's their music, but we own it. So yeah, you go ahead and have a Hammer.
Mm-hmm. All right. So last few things they talked about: his drug binges, his depression. He had possible life in prison charges because of that whole thing with the woman, which is weird to me that it could even be that case. But what they had said was his daughter and Tanya both confirmed they never made that woman, stay there. They talked about him kind of being on drugs while he was going through court. Like going through the trial,
I can see that,
and falling asleep in court and all this. And Tanya was like, "Dude, like you can't, like you gotta get yourself together."
Probably because he was awake for God knows how. He was probably awake through 1980.
I don't know.
Actually, through the 80s,
maybe high and awake. Yeah, and then it said that he got 5 years, 4 months. He became Muslim. He got off the drugs. Tanya gave birth to a son of his, and then that's the son that he actually spent time with and did do that. So the older daughter was a little resentful.
Yeah, because it's like you had to get your life together for him, but not for me.
For this little young kid, what's up with that? But they said he wrote 400 songs while in prison.
What's up with that?
Yeah, exactly. And so, so he'd been to rehab over 30 times. Like he got out of prison and got back into the drugs, and it's just a never-ending cycle. But one of the things, like I said, that I just picked up was that some of his life, when you hear about the stories, it was like he was Diddy before there was a Diddy. Yeah. But I didn't get that anybody said he drugged people or anything like that, like they say of Diddy, but like that. Look, Rick liked to party.
Yeah, I'm Rick James, bitch.
But remember, Cat said that about it. Diddy liked to party. And Rick liked to party. So on that note, if you want to check it out, it is Bitchin', and it is the story of Rick James, The Sound and Fury of Rick James on Hulu.
On Hulu. Yep. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out. Yeah. So I have a movie that is very disturbing.
Okay.
And shout out to Terry. Because he came...
My boo?
Yeah, your boo.
What?
Because I was watching the movie, and he came over to drop off a crock pot to me.
Oh, yes, he did mention
And I was like, man, I'm in here watching this movie. I was like, you and Nina should watch it. I said, actually, no. You should not watch it. And I'm going to...
Okay, so I'll find out why you're saying this.
Yes, because you're going to be like, oh, no, you got to go home, bro. Like... No, this ain't gonna happen. All right, so the name of the movie is Together.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the cast. The main characters are the ones that you need to know. It's like 3 main characters, and there's a couple of other people that are in and out of it. But you have Dave Franco, who plays Tim. You have Alison Brie, who plays Millie. Alison Brie, you would know her. She was the lead person on Glow.
Oh, Glow.
Sorry. Glow. And she was also on, Freelance, that movie.
Glow.
Yeah. Okay. And then Damon Harriman, who plays Jamie. So David Harriman, Jamie, is actually the co-worker of Millie, who is Alison Brie. And she is dating Tim, who is Dave Franco.
Gotcha.
Now, her best friend is Mia Morissette, who plays Kath.
Okay.
So just a little insight about this. It is a creepy, weird movie. I don't know if I've already talked about the movie with Demi Moore wanting to be younger and the things that she was doing for that, but this is similar to that. So you have Tim and Millie. They're in a relationship, but Tim is like, he's not working. He's all about his music, but his career is not going anywhere.
Okay.
And Millie actually has a job opportunity out in the country. They live in the city.
Okay.
She has a job opportunity out in the country. And I think this might be New York, but I can't tell for sure. I don't remember where they say it's at. But this is actually like, I was saying like a county, like some outskirts somewhere. And as they move, she actually proposes to him on the night of their going away party. And he's just like, yeah, stop, get up. Like, why are you proposing to me? Like, and he's like, oh, wait, no, I mean, I do, yes. But he's like, but
don't do this.
Yeah. And then so she's like, okay, well, this was horrible, because how she proposes is just her hands together, like her hands are a ring case, and she just opens her hands. There's nothing there.
There's nothing. Okay.
Yeah. But you can also see that Tim is not exactly happy with the move. He's not happy with himself.
Okay.
So they get to this area, and I guess he's down and out. He's not liking this. He feels like he's lost, because how is he going to work on his music when he's so far away from the city where the recording studio is, where all his friends that are in bands are, things like that. And his friends are like, hey, we actually need somebody to pick up, these gigs with us. Like, if you're available, come on and do it. So he's like, yeah, I have to figure out how to go back and forth, because he doesn't drive, but Millie does drive. So then it's like, now I'm gonna have to ask my wife. And the guy's like, oh yeah, you definitely gotta have to like ask my sister.
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna get back and forth? He was like, I didn't think that when you got with my sister, everything was going to change like this. But I mean, bro, if you're happy, I'm happy for you. So once they get there, they're unpacking. Things are kind of weird. And they're like, okay, they have a distance between them. Now, how it starts off is that he is sleeping, and he's like having a dream. And the dream is that him and Millie are asleep, and the bed is super long. And on the other end of the bed is a dead man and a woman who's just standing there smiling and like...
That's creepy.
Yeah, and then so in his dream, he's like covering his face, and then what happens? That woman pops up from out of the blanket and is like in his face, like smiling the whole time. And it's like, what the heck? Come to find out, it was his mother. So you see a picture of his mother and his father.
You see that's who the woman was.
Yes. So the story is that you gonna find out some stuff about his parents. Why that is like a thing for him. So Tim and Millie have not been sexually active with each other for years. Well, I guess it's been like a year. And she's like, I'm still sticking with you through this, because she's like, I know that this is because of what's happened with your parents. Like, you still haven't gotten over that. And he gets so agitated about that. He's just like, why don't you just understand? Like, just leave me alone about it. She's just like, I'm trying to tell you that I do understand. So that's why I'm not pushing the fact for us to do anything sexually. She was like, but, I still would like to.
Yeah.
So as she's trying to, then he has a little issue. Then, like, he has an issue with her. Then the next day, she's like, you know what? Let's go on a hike. There's places you said you wanted to go and, like, look around. Let's go on a hike. So they go on a hike. Nice, beautiful day. But then it starts raining. But they also are not good with locations, so now they're in the middle of the woods. Like, she's like, I think it's back this way. He was like, no, I think it's this way. He was like, hold on, I have a compass. Pulls his compass out. He's like, all right, north is this way. She was like, okay, so what does that mean? He said, I don't know. I thought that a compass. He's like, I thought that a compass was like actually going to help, but it's not even where they parked. They walked from their home to, like, it's like a hike around their home.
Okay.
Now they see this area that's like these trees, like, that are kind of bowed together, and it looks like a walkway. I'm thinking, nah, I'm not going that way.
But they wanted to.
But they're just like, hey, let's just go this way. And there's like these bell things that are hanging down. So
Sounds creepy.
So I guess he's thinking like this is the path.
It's civilization. But y'all would have known if you saw bell things.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess he was thinking that this is the way that the trail is supposed to go. That's going to bring us back around. They go there. They're in an argument, and then what happens? They fall into this pit.
Oh my gosh.
And as he's talking to her, he's walking back. She's like, we're lost, blah, 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 blah. Falls into a pit. He's holding on to like a branch or something like that that's in the pit. She grabs his arm. She's trying to pull him up. She's so skinny, she can't pull him up. And he has a book bag on.
Why don't you just go get help? Why are you trying to help him?
Where is she going to go to get help? They're lost.
I mean, but it would be better than both of us being.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been like, let me find some branches.
Can't I have a cell phone?
Stick or something. Cell phones don't have service.
Of course. Of course.
So as she's trying to pull him up, he actually ends up pulling her down. So now they're stuck in this area and they're just like, all right, we can't figure out how to get out of here. Let's wait until the rain subsides and then we'll go ahead and try. So now they're like made a fire, but this place looks creepy. It's like church pews and things that are all in the walls, but in the dirt and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, it looks like a church collapse here.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? I'm not going to think a church collapse there because the hole is probably maybe 5 feet by 5 feet, like
yeah,
that diameter.
It's a ritual spot.
Thank you. That's what I would be thinking too.
And
I would be thinking,
seen it.
and I would be thinking, well, we gonna now try to make a ladder so we can get up out of here. I don't care if I had to dig into this dirt so I could put my foot there, and put my hand up here, and then make some kind of ladder for me to get up. That's what I'm gonna do because I'm not staying in here with all these church pews and this looks weird. This is not right, and it looks like Stranger Things on the ground where it's like
symbols.
Not symbols, but like these divots that go into the ground that makes the ground kind of look like butthole-esque.
Okay.
When I say butthole-esque, it's like the grooves in it are
yeah. And then it's got lumps on the other side.
Yeah. So, but it's all these grooves that go into this one thing that's water. So they only have a canteen of water and they only have a bottle of wine. So he's like, here, just drink the water. He was like, I have another bottle. And she's drinking the water. She's so thirsty. And then he pulls out the wine. She was like, if I would have known I would have saved the water. And he was like, no, it's fine. And then he sees the water in this butthole looking thing and tastes it. Why are you doing that? And he's like, the water tastes fine. Let's do it. So then now they're both drinking this water. Oh,
geez Louise. Okay.
Now they have a fire started. They're now starting to talk and like.
In the rain. That's very good.
Yeah. Well, no, like the rain is now starting to subside because, they're in this hole. And, well, it's not completely subsiding, but it's not as bad as it was because it was like the water was pouring down inside of this hole that they're in. Now, this is like the first few minutes of the movie.
Okay.
Now, they fall asleep. And when they wake up, their legs stuck together.
Interesting.
And he's like, so he's like trying to get up and she sleeps. So he's like, what is that? And then realizes that their legs stuck together and they're just like, he's like, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's like some kind of moss or something that got on us. And, that's it just
connected them.
Yeah, because it was like sticky. It was like mucusy.
So they did get loose, but
yeah.
Okay.
But so then they get out. Now that they're out, they're in the house, and that's when things start to get weird. Every time that Millie leaves, Tim wants to be with her. It's like she is drawing him to her. Like she's driving to work, and as she makes a left turn, his eyes are rolled in the back of his head. He's in the shower, and now he's slamming to the left, slamming to the right as she's turning. They're connected some kind of way.
Through that mucusy stuff.
Look, if you look at the trailer is they are literally forming together. So you see like their eyelashes start to come together. You see that their lips come together. You see that they're having issues with like their body being stuck together as they're having sex and things. It is a whole thing.
Wow.
And that's why I said, Terry, no, maybe you and Nina don't need
I don't
to
need to see that.
Yeah, because I said she's gonna be like, well, this was fun. I think you should go home.
Yeah, we are not
don't touch me.
Together.
Don't touch me. You sit over there on that couch. Yeah. He was like, yeah, no, that's not something I want to watch with your sister. No. But
that's hilarious.
But so it's you find out the story of how all of this is happening. You see the weird things that happen between the two of them. it's like there's a contortionist kind of look. They are literally being drawn to each other. When I say drawn to each other, they are trying to stop themselves and can't. They are sliding down the hallway,
being pulled towards each
other. Like one has he's holding on to like a part of the wall, scraping onto the wall, foot in the door jamb. Like I can't, like something is pulling me to her and I don't know what it is.
Wow.
The weirdest movie ever. Wish I had that hour and some change back of my life. I would have been fine without seeing it. But then it's kind of like that impulse, but what is it? Repulsed, but intrigued. Yeah. It was like that because I'm like, okay, so now I want to know what's happening with this, and then it becomes a whole. It becomes a whole thing. You used to figure out there was a couple that is lost.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, the couple that's lost is near, like we're on this trail. We could see the pictures that they uploaded from this trail. And then it's like, but if they're lost and they're still missing and it's been however many weeks, what's happening with this and why is this happening with us and why is this happening with me?
They've been lost this whole time. They've not.
The couple, the first couple, the couple that they just find out about. Like, that like while we're living here, there's a couple that's missing.
Gotcha.
So it's not even them. It's just another couple that's missing.
That was missing. Oh,
but something is drawing them to that. It's like, I want to know what happened with that because those pictures that show the same thing, it's all a whole thing. And then when you figure out what happens with the couple and what happens with them and what happens with some other people, it is insane.
See, now I want to watch it.
Yeah, you would definitely want to watch it.
I just want to watch it by myself.
Yeah, not with Terry.
Yeah, just by myself. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
But it is very interesting. Interesting is a great word. It is very interesting. And I was like, where is this going to go? How is this going to work out? And then you find out. And you find out that this is a whole thing. This is a whole, like literally a thing.
Wow.
Yes. So check it out at your own risk. It is called Together, and you can find Together on Hulu, or you can rent it on Amazon Prime.
Because they were really
literally together. Like if you look at the picture of the trailer, the picture of the beginning of the what is it called? What is this called? The poster for it.
Yeah.
You can see that their arms are formed together. This is skin, and their arms are literally formed together.
Yeah, their arms are connected underneath.
Yeah, so you can, everybody, I would say, watch the trailer and see if it's something that intrigues you, or if it's like, that's too much. It might be like, that's too much. I ain't for that. So that's what I had. Together. Okay. What do you have, madame?
I just have a couple of hot topics.
Hot topics. And we do not own the rights to that tune either. So. We're just borrowing things.
Yeah, we borrow.
Yeah.
So I was going to talk about, because I think when we last connected, this hadn't happened, but Nicolas Maduro, the Venezuelan president who has been arrested and brought to the United States along with his wife, which they are also calling a kidnapping.
Why are they over here? I don't know anything about this, so you have to fill me in.
Haven't heard anything?
I've heard of some stuff, but I didn't pay attention. Okay. Let me tell you that. Right. I heard didn't we give money to them or something like that? Oh no, did we give money to Venezuela or Colombia?
Okay, so no, we didn't give any money that I'm aware of to Venezuela. I don't know if we gave money to Colombia. Anyway, all I know is that for a while we have been blowing up ships in the water in Venezuela or in the Caribbean because of the fact that they were saying they were drug ships. Now, a lot of the people who were watching this were like, no, they were actually fishermen who were just
because one of them looked like a speedboat.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And I'm just like, that's
drugs. I don't know what drugs would be on, if it would be on a speedboat or
but drugs are on whatever they can get drugs across the border.
Potentially a plane. So
absolutely happens a plane. You remember the movie Cocaine Bear. That was actually a true story about a bear did cocaine because cocaine fell out of a plane.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Very true. And so what ended up happening is those things were happening. It would be sometimes even fishermen or whoever it was that was on these boats would survive the explosion, and then they would still take them out in the water because these were the military assignments that were instructed. And so based on that, it escalated to the point that they bombed part of Venezuela. The way I understand it is they bombed one section.
We did? Like the United States?
And then went to another section, which mainly people are saying, so are we at war? Because we literally bombed a place and we had no sanctions. We had no approvals, none of that. I don't even know if anybody within our government... That's where I'm going.
Oh, no, because that's the last place that we bombed was because of oil.
Right. So what ends up happening is they end up going and getting Maduro and his wife and bringing him to the United States, saying that they are basically capturing him because of the fact that he is a really like a dictator, a person who is mainly bringing drugs and, supporting its criminals and drugs coming into the United States. And in order to stop that, then what we're going to do is we are going to stop Maduro. Now, mind you, a lot of people in Venezuela feel as though Maduro is a terrible person because, number one, he lost the election.
Oh, okay. And then
he never left. Oh, he lost. And he was like, I ain't going nowhere. Who gonna make me, boo?
Oh, okay.
And so, therefore, I guess in the name of Sheree, it would be who gonna check me, boo?
Yeah.
And so he's been in that position of power, even though he lost. And so there are people in the country who are like, he is not our president. I don't know why he is here. I don't know why he is continuing to stay there. But our president that we elected before he stole the election, basically, needs to be in office.
Sounds so familiar, but yeah.
It kind of does. Yeah. Well, and I think it would be even more so in the next election because I don't think somebody's going to try to leave. Yeah. But yet you arrest somebody who didn't try to leave.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Then the thing is that when it happened, two sides to this. What I saw online is 80% of the people in Venezuela we're excited. We're thrilled. We're in the streets. We're crying. Okay. We're waking up their children in the middle of the night to say Maduro was out of office. He's gone. America has come in. Trump is our savior. He's taken him. Okay. And they're like, what? Oh, my God. And people are crying, and they're in the street, and they're excited and they're happy. And then you have other people who are like, no, we liked him. He was a good guy. Yeah. So I feel like it's the difference between potentially MAGA people. Yeah. You're going to have people who like different people and people who don't, right? Correct. And so, and not to make this political, but it's political because of the fact that it's two political parties and political situations that have happened.
Well, because it's politics. It's the leader of a nation.
Right, exactly. Now, on the flip side of this, just a few weeks ago, at the end of 2025 in December, the president, Trump, had released Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez, who was supposed to be serving 45-year sentence in the United States for drug trafficking. So you're saying that you are releasing him for drug trafficking.
That was actually drug trafficking.
Was convicted and is going to be serving a 45-year sentence for drug trafficking. And yet, for Venezuela, you actually are like, all right, you're drug trafficking. I'm putting you in jail a month later. So is it really about drugs?
Is it that the leaders of other countries that bring drugs into the United States, are they overpopulated? And that's why, it's like when they let a lot of the prisoners in some prisons go during COVID because it was like, oh, we got too many people, so we're going to let some of y'all's sentences go. So it's are they overstaffed? Is it too many leaders?
I looked into it and I said, okay, so why is it that he was released? And it was it says here that Trump pardoned and freed Juan Orlando Hernandez, who was serving a 45-year sentence in the United States for drug trafficking, because he felt as though it was a lopsided conviction that wasn't truly warranted by the previous administration, and he granted him a full and unconditional pardon at the end of 2025. So he was released from prison as a result. And
what country was he from?
Honduras.
Okay.
And it says Hernandez had conspired to import large amounts of cocaine into the United States, as well as related weapons. So weapons and drugs were coming in through him. So they finally got him. They put him in jail. And then Trump is like, nope, I don't believe that to be true from the other administration doing that.
So I wonder what gift we're going to get from Honduras.
Because Honduras, the Honduran people asked for him to be released.
But we're getting a gift from him. I know that. Well, not we. Trump is going to get a gift from him.
Something potentially. Yeah. But the other part to it is why Venezuela, right? Why have we had this war on Venezuela?
Yeah.
And it is oil.
I figured, yeah.
Venezuela has more oil than Saudi Arabia.
Oh, of course, yeah.
The issue is that people like Maduro, who've been in power, Maduro, I'm saying the N in there, it's not.
Yeah. Not the medication.
No, yeah. Maduro.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Medication. But he ends up doing things so that the people of Venezuela have never been able to profit or benefit or anything. It's like the rich keep getting richer, so the people in power would always hold all of that, and nobody. So when you think about Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, all those places, people are billionaires.
Yeah.
People are walking around in Bugattis and their cars, and the women, they got on the burqas, but they have the Birkin.
Yeah, exactly.
And they have the $10,000 purse.
Yeah, they got the Louis Vuitton hijab on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like they are, fly. And I've seen it with my own eyes, so I know it to be true. And so based on that, I'm like, okay, I had no idea that Venezuela, it almost has more than like 2 or 3 of those places combined of oil. Mm-hmm. And that's the purpose, is that they're getting in there. And the United States they don't even have who's going to replace this guy, like officially yet. So the people are just there and they're saying, thanks, Trump. But it's like, okay, are you going to take them over? Like how, for example, some other areas of the world, like we've gone in and you got the United
like
States,
Panama,
Samoa,
and stuff like that.
And different things like that. Like, is that what this is? Or is this something different? And nobody really, at this point that I'm aware of.
But they had somebody that they put into office that was not able to go into office because
they do have their own president that they did actually elect into office. But there is a female who had always been against Maduro, and basically they're like, okay, are they going to have some other kind of election now, or is it going to be that the other guy is going to be the one? Like, what's going on? And for that woman, everybody is trying to figure out what her intentions are, and is she somebody who is going to be a puppet for America or something like that? So it's a lot going on there. And then I'll just stop that there, because then we have another scenario that's going on, which is the ICE situation in Minnesota, where Renee Nicole Good was killed by ICE. So she's a white woman in Minnesota who, had you heard this story?
Somebody sent me something about it, but I haven't looked into it yet.
So basically what it was is there was this, like, I don't know what you want to call it, brigade of cars that were trying to protest everything that ICE has been doing. She was sitting there kind of at the head of the brigade and blocking streets and stuff like that. They did show her putting her hand out the car and waving an ICE vehicle to pass by in front of her. She was getting ready to, I thought, probably pull off. But then ICE jumped out of a truck and they came up to her car and they were telling her to get out of it. And she was just like, she just started backing up and then going to turn to the right and leave. And in the process of her doing that, one of the ICE guys was in front to the side of her car, like near the right bumper, I guess you would say. And he took it as a threat that she was trying to run over him. And he shot her in the head, like shot her literally in the car as she was trying to pull off and get out. Because as they got out the car, she was saying, I'm leaving, you know. And so she goes ahead and tries to go, and they shoot her once from the front and a couple of times from the side. Well, one guy shot her that many times, and which was crazy to me because the other guy, the other ICE guy, is standing right there. Like, he could have gotten hit. And there was
just friendly fire
on the other side of the car. She was getting ready to get into it when the woman was going to pull off, because she was getting I don't know if she had rode with her or what, but she was getting ready to get in because she had her hand on the door. And then when she was backing up, she was like, oh, wait, you're getting ready to move. And she moved out the way. And when the lady went to go take off, she probably was already dead. So she ended up running into another car and a light pole and all of that. They did not allow the doctor on scene, who was somebody in the neighborhood, to take care of her. They just let her bleed, basically. And they said, they were like, can we they were calling 911 and stuff, but they were like, can somebody at least go there and like do compressions or try to
stop the bleeding
or whatever? And they were like, no, stay where you are. And they had guns drawn and all this stuff. And long story short, when the paramedics did get there, the witnesses on the scene said the brigade didn't even stop the ability for people to get through. It was the ICE vehicles that it showed up that stopped the ambulances to be able to get through. So they had to literally take her limp body to the ambulance to then work on, or to the stretcher, so that they could get her to the stretcher to then work on her, to then be able to, So they were just saying that it was a mess, and she passed. And so there are, of course, two opinions to this, which is, why were you avoiding what the police were telling you to do in the time in which they were telling you to do it? Because you were trying to escape them. But the other side to it is that there's even people on Fox News who were like, but there is in the bylaws for, I guess, these ICE agents or whatever, you don't, if somebody's trying to get away, you don't pursue, you don't draw your gun, and you don't get in front of a vehicle, which they say is police protocol anyway. It's not to get in front of a vehicle when somebody's getting ready to drive, because that doesn't make any sense. So they're saying that this man, who they all have identified, is somebody who, of course, had his face covered with his ICE things, which I still don't get and understand. Like, you shouldn't be able to do these things and be anonymous. That that nobody knows who you are.
Because we don't have military, nor do we don't have like Green Berets. We don't have the Army Special Forces. Police officers, nobody has their face covered. You know that you're doing something wrong if you have your face covered.
Right. I mean, you're not covered in a whole, right, exactly. You're not covered in a whole garb of a helmet and this and that, where we might not be able to see your face, like with the Capitol Police when that whole thing happened on January 6th. Like, we might not be able to see your face because of your protection that you have to put on.
Y'all just have gaiters on your face.
You're right, exactly. And so long story short, I don't know if anything will change with that. I would hope so, because maybe that would have them feeling less, I don't know, gregarious to do these types of things. I'm not sure what the right word is, but I do think that because this happened to a woman that was not a person of color, that it's definitely getting more attention than it would have if it was a person of color.
Absolutely.
Because people are at least trying to, I feel like if it was a person of color, everybody be saying, well, they should have stopped, because that's what they always say. You know, they should have stopped. They should have listened. They should have complied. And now it's like, okay, but she wasn't doing anything dangerous.
Yeah, she was leaving.
Literally trying to leave and get out of their way. And yet she lost her life for it. So anyway, and the first stories I heard, they made it sound like she ran over the cop, that she killed him, that she had maimed him, that he was critically hurt. Like, I was hearing all this stuff. And then when I looked at the video, I was like, yeah, he stood in front of her car. She went to turn her wheel to move away from him, and he shot her. So, anyway. Yeah. So that is it for this week's episode of Sestra-Tainment.
Ended on a low note, man.
Well, I mean,
it's our reality.
It's reality. So, outside of that, there's nothing else that I can share other than happy 2026.
Happy 2026.
And I hope everybody has a great day, and take care of yourself, take care of each other, and we'll talk next time. Bye.